man was able to endure. The 16 years that he spent on Robben Island. On an educational trip about 2 years ago on Robben Island, when they were getting it prepared for the FIFA World Cup, I came across this lot, the old Robben Island fencing, which had been bowled up into a skip and was headed for a landfill site in Vissershoek. So noticing that it was our national heritage that was being sent away to be treated as trash, I decided to do something about it. Being an artist who works with things that have long since lost their value in society, I noticed that it had an intrinsic value that belonged to all of us. It's our version of the Berlin Wall. So I rescued it to a farm in Stellenbosch. It took the next 3 months in processing it, cutting it up, and getting it ready for something I could use not only for my art, but also for a social initiative. I stacked 216 pieces of them, one on top of each other, to make a spire called the Nelson's Column, which I entered into the Spirit Contemporary at the beginning of this year, and was very fortunate to be awarded as one of the winners of this competition, which was a great start in my artistic career. The spire itself is based loosely on the slate observation towers on the island. And during getting the award, I think I certainly felt the appeal from my peers as far as the integrity of the material that I was working with, not only in the 4,000 black condoms, which were part of an arms deal between Germany and South Africa, but that's another story. But how the universe just produces these materials for me to work with. And I turned material into a social enterprise called REACT, the Robben Island Art Company Trust, in which the public are able to buy pieces of the old Robben Island fencing, which creates capital for social enterprise, which enables employment. We have a vision that two of the greatest challenges of South Africa, but not only South Africa, are pollution as in waste product and waste labor as in unemployment. We don't have the answers, but I'm sure if we can marry the two of them in some way, we have got a bright future of being able to sustain more employment and also reduce our waste product. Just after the Spirit, I arranged an exhibition with 14 other Cape Town-based artists using the Robben Island fencing as a metaphor for what it means to be South African. I had the honor of actually putting 2 installations in the Clock Tower Square. This one over here is a lightweight version of the Nelson's Column, which I call Ghost. It certainly was a solution to 5 tons of material, and it led to another installation at the Apartheid Museum just before the World Cup. While I was working with the material, it struck me to create Nelson Mandela's cell, a cell which looks like any other cell in Robben Island, and bring it to mainland for all those people who didn't take the trip out to Robben Island, to actually see the 240 by 240 by 220 centimetre cell that this man lived in for 18 years of his life. On Friday I leave for London, where I hope to present this as an offering to the empty plinth in Trafalgar Square, which stands very proudly opposite the South African House as well as the National Gallery. And I think it has a wonderful relation to Lord Admiral Nelson. It has a culpability in the ideas of our history and our colonial past. When I look at this, I think of that rusty material, and it's a metaphor for Mandela in the way that it shines its brightest in the darkest nights. I had an opportunity to install some more, and I think what you're seeing here is a development of something that just was found on an island, has been able to grow as an artwork. So you're sharing some of how this organic process works. So I managed to convince a scaffolding company to entirely support me and lend me the scaffolding and supply the labour to be able to put this up. And we put up a massive 2010 opposite the Orlando Stadium during the World Cup. The title of the work was 20 years ago. It really, I think, paid homage to Nelson Mandela and to us as a nation, around the idea that the World Cup would not have been possible if it wasn't for the transformation that happened 20 years ago when Nelson Mandela was released from prison. And in itself, I had created an ambitious program for me to create a twin work of 2010 in Berlin, so we could also celebrate the reunification of the East and West Berlin. Almost like this global consciousness 20 years ago, coming down of apartheid, coming down of communism in the free world. I've since been highlighted to the idea of the ridiculous wall that's going up between Israel and Palestine. I don't necessarily have a solution for it, but I do want to describe a discourse, or at least engage a discourse with the public. So after London, I'm going to be going to Berlin to hopefully convince another scaffolding company to support me and be able to create another 20 meters by 6 meter tall scaffolding and Robben Island fencing installation called Zion. So what I need for all of you here tonight is just to wish me well and to believe it. I never thought that it would get to this stage when I stumbled across this Robben Island fencing in the first place. But within a very short year, all of this has become possible. So I'm going to carry on believing. If you want to also help with the Robben Island Art Community Trust and help people get employed, then you're welcome to go to the websites and do a little bit for us too. Thank you.